Alrighty boys, this one's going to be a bit of a different video. Today we are skipping the long intro and we're going to about to get as giddy as a schoolboy. We're going to go over 7 dirt cheap and stupid fast motorcycles. So you can ditch your jacket and boots for a tank top and flip-flops because we're going to go over some of the best squid missiles a fistful of cash can buy. Now disclaimer, of course I want everyone to wear proper gear and not jump on a crotch rocket without being fully protected. I also want to point out that every bike listed can be found on the internet for under $4,000. That's right. Some of these prices were even listed at a dealership, so you can probably negotiate your way down to an even lower price. In the event of a private sale, you can probably trade cigarettes, Xbox games, or other forms of currency to get one of these bikes. Let's look at these stupid fast, dirt cheap bikes. Number 1, it's the 01 to 05 Suzuki GSXR 1000. These are an absolute steal nowadays. If you want to relive the glory days of the leader bike wars of the early to mid-aughts, then think none other than the Suzuki GSXR 1000. We're not talking about the technologically advanced rockets of today, no, but the old school bikes of yesterday. The 2001 is the bike that started it all, and you can have it for roughly $2,500 to $3,000. Yeah, you heard that right. Ditch your 2015 Gixxer 600 and just go 19 years back in the time machine to get some real speed. The 2001 had a 998cc inline 4 that pumped out 160 horsepower and 80 foot-pounds of torque, baby. This bike had a wet weight of 435 pounds and accelerated from 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds, and the standing quarter mile was 10.1 seconds. Top speed on this beast is 173 miles per hour. Now, if you're looking at the 01 and the 02 and you think it's a little bit outdated, you wouldn't be the only one. I kind of think so too. In 2003, Suzuki revamped the styling and kept the original engine though. You can find a 2005 GSXR 1000 for under $4,000, then you have found the holy grail of squid missiles. This thing had an increased displacement, punched out 998.6 cc's of power, and it increased to 199 horsepower. Might as well call this one an even 200 if you throw a K&N filter on it. Torque is 86 foot-pounds and a top speed is increased to 178 miles per hour. The 05 1000 is coveted as one of the best Gixxers ever produced, with riders criticizing later generations of not living up to this predecessor. Well, it's not too shabby for a couple grand, huh? Now, you know what else isn't too shabby? It's actually awesome. It's the last place you want to go stupid fast. I'm talking about your wallet. Do you still carry around that big, bulky leather wallet that your ex-girlfriend Tiffany bought you? Why do you still have that thing? Or how about the one that grandma bought you that you just can't seem to replace? Or what if you're a crust punk and you have a Velcro one? Well, it's time. Instead of carrying around receipts, which are going to fade anyway, and business cards for the fence builder, you live in an apartment now. Why not only carry the essentials? I use a Ridge wallet. It blocks RFID signals and comes in aluminum, carbon fiber, or titanium. You can carry them in your front pocket and give your butt cheek a rest, finally, and know that you have everything you need with you. Forget trying to carry anything. Seriously, photos, they're on your phone. Receipts from 2 years ago, why do you have those? A membership to a gym that you never go to? That's junk and you don't need it. Carry your IDs, your credit card, debit cards, and a couple bits of cash and you're good to go. So click the link below, use the code YammieNoob for 10% off and free worldwide shipping. Get more by carrying less. Number 2, it's the 2002 Honda Fireblade CBR 954RR. Why does Honda name their bikes so goddamn long? Following suit with the big force presence on our list, Honda released the CBR 954RR Fireblade in 2002. The engine displaced 954 cc's and had a power output of 154 horsepower. Torque was measured at 74.6 foot-pounds, and this thing was a rocket ship for the time. With a 424-pound wet weight, this bike ripped the quarter mile in 10.4 seconds and had a class-leading power-to-weight ratio. For the price of a used Grom, you can literally keep up with 98% of the vehicles on the road today. If you feel bad because you can't afford a new Ducati or BMW, dude, don't sweat it. Seriously, leader bike fun can be had for cheap. If you can forego high-tech gauges and you don't mind a slightly outdated look, we chose this Fireblade because it was the last year of the legendary 954cc engine. In 2004, the CBR 1000RR was released, but with it, it's a bit of a bump in price, right out of our range. The CBR 954RR is a bang for buck kind of bike. Because of the Honda, it's easy to work on, unlike some other bikes, and it's known for reliability. The bike's top speed is 178 miles per hour, which puts it on par with some other leader bikes of the period. A heavy aftermarket following still exists, so don't think you'll be without any aftermarket goodies to modify this bike with. Number 3, it's the 98 to 99 Yamaha R1. Now these are getting pretty rare, and if you're looking for a bike that was ahead of its time in regards to looks and performance, then consider the first generation Yamaha R1. R1. All the way back in 1998, before some of you were born, before the leader bike wars, before the Gixxers and the Sirius Fireblades, there was Yamaha and one of these bikes. When the R1 was introduced, dealerships had a difficult time keeping the motorcycle in stock. Was it the radical new looks, the sleek design, or was it just the performance numbers? I don't know, it was the 90s. Everybody was probably addled out on coke and buying leader bikes. For a bike manufactured in 1998, the R1's 0 to 60 is under 3 seconds. Its quarter-mile performance is 10.1, and the bike had a top speed of 168 miles per hour. With a displacement of 998 cc's, this bike puts out 150 horsepower and 72 foot-pounds of torque. It's got a price tag nowadays of about $4,000. This bike's an absolute steal for Yamaha fans or even thrill seekers. This 22-year-old bike will not disappoint new or old riders alike. The bike has a minimalist approach compared to the cross-plane crankshaft-wielding R1 and R1M of today. You don't need much to go fast. You certainly don't need those fancy electronics. Just crack yourself a dank nooner and get out on the road. To this day, the first generation R1 is running laps at tracks around newer bikes and cracking those nooners like I mentioned. Number 4, this one's a bit of an oddball, but the 2000 Aprilia RSV Mille. Next on our list is an Italian bike. You probably didn't think you're going to see that today. It was probably out of reach for many 20 years ago. The 2000 Aprilia RSV Mille is a 998cc, 60-degree V-twin engine that put out 116 horsepower and 74 foot-pounds of torque measured at the rear wheel. Now, you might not think that's a lot, but this bike was the envy of many, and rightfully so. With a quarter mile of 10.5 and a top speed just shy of 170 miles per hour, this was one of the bikes to have back in the day. Although a drama queen with the temperament for the weather, the RSV Mille is an Italian sport bike that rivals the big four across the pond and its nearby neighbor Ducati. It maxes out our budget, but it can be had for right under $4,000 by $1 maybe. The bike is still as capable today as it was with the competition from yesterday. The exhaust note is a dead giveaway that this bike means business and is not part of the usual suspects. If you can find one of these bikes for under $4,000, go and buy it. Number 5, the 98 to 03 Kawasaki ZX-9R. So during the late 90s, when a lot of manufacturers were trying different displacements, Kawasaki came along and blew the competition out of the water with its redesigned ZX-9R. The bike has a 899cc engine, so it's not a 750 nor a true leader bike, but it produced 143 horsepower and 74.5 foot-pounds of torque. Had a top speed of 180 miles per hour and has an impressive performance numbers. Produced between 1998 and 2003, all models are fine to buy at a bargain under $4,000, but we're focused on the 98 for a specific reason. The 98 ZXR was the first production motorcycle to run the quarter mile in under 10 seconds. For this bike, it is an amazing feat and it made it popular amongst experienced riders and speed demons. A smaller engine gave it a weight advantage over the other bikes, especially the heavier GSXR 1100 and later the 1000. It was an advantageous thing over other bikes displacing a liter as well. The ZX-9R can be had for prices as low as $1,500, my dudes, if you look hard enough and can handle a lot of miles, but considering the performance stats, this bike would be worth every penny to restore, renew, and ride once again. Number 6, y'all know how to do it to him. It's the Triumph Daytona 955i, baby. You guys didn't think I could do this list and forget about Triumph, did you? Where is my endorsement? Is it ever coming? The Triumph Daytona 955i was produced between 1997 and 2006. For all of you 3-cylinder 11 squids out there like me, we're focused on the 2001 and newer models because the facelift, and trust me, you're going to want that edition. Originally known as the T595, the Daytona was renamed after people thought the model name referred to the engine displacement. And I honestly can't blame anyone for thinking that because every other manufacturer follows suit. Triumph, what were you thinking? At least they corrected it in 1999. So in 2001, it's a better looking 3-cylinder 955cc engine. The specs for the engine are 147 horsepower and a whopping 74 foot-pounds of torque and awesome 3-cylinder sounds. And that's why I love Triumph, ladies and gentlemen. Only 3 cylinders are needed for a little 4-cylinder amount of fun. Wait, that sounded kind of weird. The Daytona 955 rips the old 1320 in 10.4 with an industry average 0 to 60 time of 3 seconds. Welcome to motorcycling, where every damn bike can outrun a supercar. The Daytona of yesteryear is still a street and track contender against 90% of the motorcycles out there. We've found listings for the 955 in the $3,600 to $4,000 price range, but these include dealerships. Either way, this bike was amazing in its time and it's still pretty cool now. Number 7, and I know this one's going to be a little contentious because they're going up in value, but the Ducati 996 is a good choice for this segment. aka dirt, stupid, cheap, fast bikes. If you want to say I'm better than you but are balling on a budget, then look no further than the Ducati 996, Italy's other fine motorcycle company. Well, there's a bunch. Okay, MV Agusta, we're not talking about them. The other company with the dominating presence in the motorcycling world has a previous generations that are excellent choices, both for budget-minded and riders who don't want a bike from Japan's Big Four. The best year for these would be an 01 or an 02, but they're all Ducati and feature a V, not an L twin engine with 996 cc's of displacement. This particular model can be had for about $4,000, some pricier than others due to mileage and condition. If you've always wanted the Ducati Desmodromic sound and want something with some oomph, the 996 is a classic bike to own, and it is just so pretty. With a 112 horsepower and 69 foot-pounds of torque, it's not the fastest bike on our list. With a top speed of 161 miles per hour and a standing quarter mile of 10.2, it still moves though. It's a Ducati in anyone's price range, and it's great to get your biscotti on. Welcome to the world of being a Ducatista. So guys, that is going to wrap it up for today. Are there any stupid fast bikes you can think of that we missed? You know your papa's going to be doing a part 2 for you squids. That's always coming. Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you guys. If you liked the video, be sure to share it with a friend, hit subscribe, hit like, do what you gotta do. You know it helps us out. I appreciate you. Thanks again for Ridge, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Fact: Erno Rubik took 1 month to solve the cube he created. The record for solving the fastest now is 4.22 seconds. Kinda wish it was 4:20. The maximum amount of moves required to solve the cube is only 20. Goodbye.